Today we'll talk about biochemical interconversions of glucose within a cell, the metabolic fates of glucose. We'll specifically focus on two major metabolic fates called glycolysis, gluconeogenesis, and pentose phosphate pathway. For your reference, this material corresponds to chapter 14 in Leninger. Glucose is a central metabolite in all cells. It is involved in a number of anabolic pathways. For example, glucose is a building block for energy storage compound such as glycogen, starch, or sucrose. It is also important precursor for synthesis of polysaccharide biopolymers such as cellulose, the major component of extracellular cell walls, or polysaccharides and proteoglycans, major components of extracellular matrix. However, equally, if not more important, are catabolic fates of glucose. In every cell, the glucose is catabolized and brought down into smaller pieces by the process called glycolysis. The main output of glycolysis is production of energy in the form of ATP, and as such, glycolysis is one of the most important energy yielding pathways in every cell. Another important catabolic fate is oxidation of glucose via pentose phosphate pathway. Results of pentose phosphate pathway is twofold. One is the ribose precursors, which is precursor for biosynthesis of nucleotides, and production of the reduced form of the electron transport carrier NADPH. Because of that, the pentose phosphate pathway plays central role in nucleotide synthesis and therefore in all the information flux within the cell. And through production of NADPH, it is pivotal for the mitigating the oxidative stress. In this lecture, our goals are threefold. First, we'll look into inner workings of how cells use glycolysis to produce energy in the form of ATP, and specifically focus on the fermentative non-oxygen dependent, oxygen independent mode of glycolysis. Secondly, we'll look at the opposite process, gluconeogenesis, where glucose is rebuilt from smaller metabolites. And thirdly, we'll look at the oxidation of glucose through the pentose phosphate pathway and its outcomes. To properly comprehend this material, I would highly recommend you to look at my lecture on monosaccharide chemistry and to Fergal's lectures on enzyme reactions and bioenergetics.